the T-SPLOST. What do you three gentlemen think about the?
The question was, what do you think about T-SPLOST?
I think how you vote on T-SPLOST really depends on where you live. Where I live, they're investing. I live right at 285 and 400. They're investing $468 million to improve that interchange. I work in Midtown. They're investing about $220 million improving Peachtree's corridor and along Midtown and 10th Street. So for me, it makes a lot of sense. But if I lived across the river in Cobb, where about $658 million is going to one project, on what's called a premium bus line to connect the Art Center to the Galleria, that's a tougher sell. And so I think, the General Assembly decided that voters should make up their own mind and vote for what they think works for them. And I want to respect that decision and let people decide for themselves what to do going forward. But it's clear when we talk about transportation, we need to at least do three things. One, we've got to improve it, because I've seen when I work with the Department of Economic Development, when both we try to recruit companies here and when other states try to recruit companies from us. And believe me, that happens every day, and it's tooth and nail. They will always show a picture of 285 just about any time. They'll show 400 in the afternoon, and they'll show the connector in the morning and the afternoon. We've got to address that issue. But we can't do it with dollars alone. One of the things I learned in my time in government is the Georgia Department of Transportation needs serious and continued reform. When Governor Perdue in about 2006 and 2005 initiated what's called the Fast Forward program, they put a bunch of money into the Georgia Department of Transportation, and not much came out. If you can't fix the process, it doesn't matter how you raise the money, it doesn't matter where you raise the money, and it doesn't matter how much you raise. The process has got to be a focus, and I've been there. I've still got the bite marks to show where I was fighting with GDOT over some how they were going to operate, so I think that's got to be a part of it. And then I think, too, lastly, to answer your question, Jimmy, while I like the idea of regions coming up with what they want to do, I am concerned with how we saw the project mix. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's some stuff on there that have big ticket items that, candidly, to me, had nothing to do with transportation. So if the state is going to invest state dollars, not coming from the general fund, because the way we fund transportation is the dedicated sales tax and the gas tax. If we go to the general fund, that would be new. We haven't done that before, and I would be wary of doing that. If you go to the state level and look at state projects, I think having that view where you can see how it impacts a region is a good thing, if only so that there's a check to make sure we are actually doing transportation and not something else.
Mr. Elbergen, again, if you can address the question, both on the micro level of how you feel about it, this particular thing, and if you can take a step back and the policy in general.
Well, yeah, I'll pick up on that last part, because I've been talking for a while about getting truck traffic out of the port around Atlanta, not through Atlanta, and that's going to be very expensive, but it's something that we need to do. So the question then is, how do we pay for it? And I think the distinction on what is the cost is the regional amount versus the statewide amount.
Correct. I'm talking. Can I just answer that? It's a statewide.
If we could let him finish, and I'll give you an opportunity to rebut to the rebuttal.
But how do we get the truck route around? And what we can see from other states and candidly other countries as well is public-private partnerships are the best way, I think, to fund those big projects. And the way you do that is you invest money. There are private companies out there that put up money. The public sector puts up money either through pension funds or through general bonds, and you get a guaranteed rate of return by putting a toll on that road. So it is a user tax that goes on, and we can direct traffic through to connect I-75 north of Macon to and around Atlanta, so that it doesn't have to come through. But the way you do that, I think specifically, is with a public-private partnership. We've seen it work in other places. There's no reason it can't work.
A chance to respond?
Yes.